Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Charles here. And today it's a little bit of a somber, not the city of somber, but a bit of a sad video here today. Because today was a shitty day, okay? You know, every single person in this world, we all, doesn't matter who you are. If you're from the USA, if you're from China, if you're from Ethiopia, Albania, or Serbia, we all lose somebody that we really care about, somebody that was important to us, somebody that we didn't stay in touch with, and then after they're gone, we all think, fuck, why didn't I call them? Why didn't I stay in touch? Why did we have this divide between us, Really tough stuff. I just got back to Novi Sad. I'm here in Novi Sad, of course. You all know my apartment by now. But a couple days ago, let me tell you this story. Because I want to try to help you. And I want to try to make people realize that we need to stay in touch with the people we care about. It's so important. And I avoid it, and everybody avoids it until it's too late. Let me tell you a quick story, and I'm gonna get off here. Today I had to go to Belgrade because for the company I work for, we had like 190 students interested in the program. So they rented this place, Terazija 23, right across from Hotel Moskva in Belgrade. And so I went over there to speak to some kids, and we went out afterwards to a place called Samo Pivo. Samo Pivo means just beer, and it's right between Hotel Moskva and under the street, whatever. They got tons of beer, like 100 beers in there. 100, no shit. A lot of them on tap. And so we went in there, drank some beers, a lot of strong beer. I left the place at like 10:10, and I ran down to the bus station from there. It's not that far, but I was intoxicated. I drank some beers from South Africa, from Kakosekaje, from Holland, from Belgium. I drank quite a bit, really strong beers, so I got pretty intoxicated. I was there with some of the guys that worked there and a couple of the students that had been on the program before. So I get to the bus station, I get on the bus, get here anyway, and the whole way over here, on the way over here, one of my friends sent me a message, and he was a friend of mine from back home. And, he sent me a message, and he said, Charles, he said, we all need to stay in touch. He said, we lost a friend, and he said, I don't want to lose another friend and not let them know that I love them, And that really touched me, because just a couple days ago, a good friend of mine passed away. The reason I found out, I'm clear over here, 8,000 miles away from where I'm from, in another country. I have no family. I have nobody here, that I know from back home. And I was just scrolling through Facebook one day, and I saw an old friend of mine. I saw him post this picture of another friend of mine as his profile picture, and I thought, what the fuck's he doing? Why is Chris's picture his profile picture? So I clicked on it, and it said, rest in peace, and I thought, what the fuck? So I click on this friend, Chris's mother's page and his sister's page, and I saw people posting on there, I love your son, and all this stuff, and I thought, what? Terrible shit, So I finally, a couple days later, I contacted some people, and they said, yeah, he's dead. We heard he's dead. A gentleman named Chris Black. He was a good friend of mine for a long time. He's dead now. And they said, one of my friends said, well, I heard he's dead, but we don't really know, and nobody knows anything. And then a couple days later, I saw his obituary, and I posted on my page, and his sister commented, his other sister commented, his mom commented on it. And I talked to some of his friends, and he just, I guess, his wife came in one day to wake him up for work, and he didn't wake up. He had some kids and everything. And he was young, 6 years younger than me, man. And he passed away, I remember, like a long time ago, me and him even talking about, when I was gonna die, and he was making jokes about, what was gonna happen at my funeral. I remember that, And now this happens. I'm 8,000 miles away. I can't go to his funeral because it's just not, I just can't do it. It's too expensive and it's too far away. But anyway, this young man, such a good kid, you know. How I met him is kind of a strange situation. You know, he's 6 years younger than me. My second job ever was at this, I just got my license. I had this Cutlass Supreme, if you know what that is, an Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. It's a, kind of a, how do you even say it? Like, I don't know, anymore, like a lot of black people and stuff, like, get them. They're like kind of a sought after car, but it was kind of a, souped up little car, and two-door car, little thing. Anyway, I got a job at this place. It was called the Strip Joint, you know, and Strip Joint is like an antique store in this small little town, and you take furniture like this, and you rub this stuff on it to take the finish off of it so you can stain it and do different things with it. Doesn't matter. But I was working over there when I was 16 because my parents made me get a job so I could put gas in my car. And there was this lady that was dating my boss. My boss was this kind of hippie guy, real nice guy. And he was dating this woman who had kids. And she had a son that was like 10 years old, and his name was Chris. And he used to come in all the time to the store when I was in there working and stuff. You know, she'd come in to see him, and she'd bring her son in there. He was kind of shy at first, and then he got to know me, and he started talking to me, and, you know, we became, you know, pretty close, like my little brother and everything. And then my boss finally told me, he said, you know, he said, this girl that I'm dating, he said her son, the 10-year-old kid, he'd walked in one day and found his dad. His dad had blew his head off with his shotgun. And this little kid, this tiny little kid walked in and found his dad, who blew his brains out, you know, and everything. And he told me that story. I was like, man, are you kidding me? You know, never heard, couldn't imagine it, you know. And so I got to know the kid. The kid used to come in there. He was a little shy at first, and he got to know me. He used to come in there without his mom. He'd come in when I was working and see me and everything. And I knew they didn't have very much money, so I bought him some shoes. I bought him some hats, and I used to take him to baseball games and stuff. And I looked after him. And make a long story short, I graduated. He got into high school. He got into trouble. He got to drinking and different things. And I tried to keep him in line. You know, he'd call me and say, man, I'm in trouble in this. And I tried to give him advice and this shit, you know. We stayed in shape, in touch and everything. And he graduated from college, or from high school, and you know, we would go out. We went out one night. I remember one of my fondest memories of him. He was a troublemaker. He was. I mean, he liked to fight. He got into trouble. He was an angry young man. And one night, me and him it was his sister's graduation. They graduated from high school, and me and him was driving around just driving out in the middle of nowhere, you know, and we were really intoxicated. I remember it well. And I was in my brand new Mustang, and we hit a horse. That's what it was. We were driving, and this horse ran across the road, and I hit it, you know, accidentally. And we said, man, how many people actually hit a horse, you know? We weren't going fast. It didn't damage the car. It didn't hurt the horse or anything, but, you know, and then we hit the horse and everything. And then a little bit later, we just kept driving around out in the middle of nowhere, and I hit a mailbox and got in the ditch. And me and him got out. We pushed my car, or he got out, pushed my car while I was driving, pushed me out of the ditch. The mailbox fell over. We propped it up, and we left. And I guess the homeowner saw us. He saw my license plates, called the police. The police came to my house. When the police came to my house, we was out of the car, and they came up to the door, and you know, I saw him pull in. I was like, oh, fuck, we're in trouble. I said, man, I can't lose my license or anything like that. Chris said, I'll say I did it, you know. And he took the blame for everything we did, you know. And prior to that, you know, when he was in high school, I forgot something to say. I took him and two of his friends down to Mardi Gras. We drove from Illinois way down to Louisiana to Mardi Gras. And we had such a good time there. One of his friends got lost. We had to stay an extra day. It was so stressful, but we had such a good time. And but anyway, after that, you know, he took the blame for that, and I'll never forget that ever. That somebody would actually do that, you know, to keep me out of trouble. You know, he knew he was in trouble all the time. He didn't want me to get in trouble. And then I found out, you know, that he's no longer here. I mean, it's such a weird feeling, you know. It's such a sick feeling, an empty feeling you get when somebody you know, and it's somebody I could have stayed in touch with, but I didn't, you know. And that's a such a shitty feeling, you know. I could have just sent him a message and every once in a bit and said, hey, how you doing? But I hadn't for years, man, when I came here. And then all of a sudden I found out he's gone, you know. I mean, that's something we need to work on, you know, as people. And to let the people we know that we care about them, you know. And that's why I think Serbians, no shit, have made me more loving and more, kako se kaže, more emotional, more, more emotional than I used to be, you know. I remember one thing I really miss about Nantucket. Every day in Nantucket, I would see these guys, these Serbian kids, these 8 Serbian kids. Every day when I went to work, they'd come to work, they'd give me a hug, you know. I mean, and I miss that, you know. They actually taught me that you can show your emotion, that you can love people, that you can, you know, care about each other, even, you know, even if you don't know each other all that well, you know. I mean, you got to show people that you love them and everything. So that's another reason why I love Serbians, because they've taught me to be a little bit more that way, you know. And one of my best friends now, you know, the only person I feel like I can actually talk to and talk serious shit to without being ridiculed, without being talked about or anything like that, you know, Darko Stojilkovic, wonderful guy from Lučica, a little village by Požarevac. He's in Miami. He's probably watching the video. So I love you, brother, and just such a good person who inspired me to do better, to tell me I can do better, and to, you know, to just to be there when I need to fucking vent and say some problems that I don't want everybody else to know, you know, and everything. So that's so important. So, you know, anymore, no shit. The only people I can actually, the only people I tell my fucking problems to, that care about me and that I care about, are Serbians and Muslim people from the Arab world. You know, it's such a depressing fact, actually. You know, I'm from the USA, and Serbians and Muslim people, my friends from Palestine, my friends from Libya, my friends from Algeria, are the people that I care about and I feel that I can discuss my problems with more than anybody else, and I think they care about me more than anybody else. So, anyway, my friends, what a depressing, shitty video, man. But I wanted to make it because I want everyone to know and to think, you know, when you have a friend, when you have a family member, when you have somebody that you care about, send them a message every once in a while, and just a short one, man, and say, hey, I love you, I care about you, I'm thinking about you, something like that, because it'll make you feel so much better if you find out somebody's no longer there, you know. Now, what do you do if they're gone, you know? Nothing, you know. Life's a crazy thing, man. I might be gone tomorrow, you know, so I like to tell my friends, and I do it all the time. I probably annoy them, but I send my friends messages all the time, and I say, man, I love you, how you doing, I care about you, you know. I like to use WhatsApp, you know. I use it like crazy, you know. I probably burn out their whole system because I leave so many voice messages, and I'll say, hey guys, I love you, and I just want to tell you, you know, I'm thinking about you, you know. So I've been doing that, you know. So we all need to do that, man, because we don't know when we're leaving, man, really. So don't put yourself in a shitty position. Tell your friends, tell your mother, tell your father, tell everybody you love them and you care about them, and do it frequently, you know. Because one day you're going to find out they're not here, and then you're fucked. That's it, my friends. Do viđenja. And next time you see me, I'll be in a better mood. Prijetno. Do viđenja.